All right, guys. You guys ready? Today we got unemployment, jobless claims numbers, as well as the big one, core PCE data. We also have Tesla's event today going on, their delivery event. Market's gapping up again. Tesla dipped a little bit yesterday, but it's all right. What's up, Kevin, Travel, S, Nick, K? What's up, team? Yeah, do me a favor, hit that like button. We're also going to do a poll here today with PCE. Help or hurt financial markets? Help or hurt? I'm voting the poll. Bro, I've been up since 2 a.m. Second day in a row. Been up since 2 a.m. No sleep. Whew. I'm awake, man. I'm tired, dude. Again, what really sucks is, like, I got up at 2 a.m. and then I couldn't go back to sleep until I fell back asleep. I woke up at 2 a.m. this morning. I literally fell back asleep at like 4:30. Got up at 5. Right? So, like, I had to get up at 5 a.m. I fell back asleep at 4:30. Got 30 minutes of sleep. I can't remember what time. I probably fell asleep at like 9 o'clock last night, you know. And so 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2. So I got 5.5 hours. I guess that's really not that bad, bro. 5.5 hours is better than I get some other nights, so I can't really get too upset. I just gotta drink some coffee. The weirdest part is that I've been up since freaking 2 a.m. So I've already been up for like 3.5 hours already. Hey, thanks, Kay. All right. Joe, what are your thoughts on Cigna and Humana's merger news? Will the merger help Humana? Don't try crypto 1 hour before market open. Yeah, so it comes out at 8:30. Yeah, I mean, usually I try to get at least 8 hours, though. Like, I don't care what people say. Like, I'm usually trying to catch at least 8 hours of sleep. If I can get 7, though, I'm usually all right. If I get 6, I actually feel better than when I get 7, believe it or not. If I get less than 6, though, I'm usually struggling, you know, which I could feel it in me today, you know. Like, we're going to have to stream the Tesla event later on, but I might try to catch some sleep in between then. All right, guys. So oh man, I'm drinking my coffee. I'm trying to wake up, guys. Bear with me. I'm looking at the market right now. I'm looking at the biggest market news today. Ford fiscal year guidance, they expect EBIT, which is earnings before interest and taxes, of about 10 to 15.5 billion. Adjusted FCF of 5 to 5.5 billion. Guidance reflects effects of strikes. Noted effective U.S. operations have been restarted. Regarding Ford, I'm actually in Ford. I'm down a little bit. I'm up some today, but I'm down a little bit overall on that position. I don't really see much else news. Let me check stock market news. So Dow futures are up over 100 points. Benchmark crude is going near the highs. Salesforce and Snowflake popped 9.2% and 8.6% respectively on good earnings. So Salesforce and Snowflake. I'm surprised this isn't dragging up tech more. But Snowflake dropped their earnings yesterday. Nice gap up for Snowflake. Salesforce, which is symbol CRM, gapping up really nicely as well. So two really good earnings reports yesterday. Sentiment also got a boost from some data from Europe, showed inflation pressures going down some. So do we have inflation data come out today? Let's see. So yeah, Euro GDP showed up. We got European inflation data come out today. So Euro CPI dropped earlier. That showed up at 2.4%, lower than expected on year-over-year inflation. Core CPI came in lower than expected as well at 3.6%, and core excludes food and energy. Regular month-to-month CPI showed up at minus 0.5%. So inflation going down in Europe here, that's a positive sign. That's a positive sign. Again, these are all signs that they're not going to raise rates next month. Like, they're just not going to raise rates, in my opinion. I mean, they could. It's just incredibly unlikely that they raise rates next month. But again, let me know what you guys think. Does European inflation affect U.S. stocks? Not directly, no. It's just a gauge of the economy in the world. You know, like typically there's going to be some... Typically, like, looking at European inflation is going to give you some foresight into what U.S. inflation might be and so forth. You know what I mean? So we could look at European inflation to gauge what it might be in the U.S. You know, next inflation report in the U.S. is in a couple weeks. It's the day before the FOMC meeting in December. So. All right, guys. So again, I knew I saw this guy before. Never mind. Does your Elon just not giving a fact, calling out Bob Iger like a savage? Is test about going up today? Is Tesla stock going up today? I don't know, man. That's such a... Again, people ask me these really basic questions. Like, dude, okay. Like, all right. So when you ask a question like that, what do you want me to say exactly? You want me to be like yes or no? Like, yeah, Tesla's going up today, or no, Tesla's not going up today. Like, what is your goal of asking that question? Serious, genuine question here. I'm not hating on you, bro. Like, just genuine question. What do you want my response to be there? I could tell you yes and just lie out of my butt. You know what I mean? Or I can tell you the truth, which is I have no idea if Tesla's going up today, bro. Nobody does, unless I have some type of insider information regarding this event later on today. I don't know what Tesla's going to do. I don't know if the stock market's going to go up, down, or sideways. Nobody does. Anybody that claims to is usually just trying to sell you something too. And again, I'm not hating. I'm trying to help because I get questions like that all the time. Like, I don't have a crystal ball here, you know. I can tell you that there's probably going to be volatility for Tesla, though, because the event's coming out. So, you know, I can tell you this. Like, I could try to predict it, I guess. That's probably what you want. Again, it depends on what happens during the event. If the event is underwhelming, which I think most people agree typically happens with these events. If the event is underwhelming, Tesla stock's probably going to drop. But if Elon debuts some new stuff, some new numbers, some new metrics, some new products, then it could certainly go up. I mean, we don't know. All right, guys. So yeah, man, Jiu-Jitsu's been fun lately, though. Rivian actually moving up today, gapping up a little bit. Again, Salesforce, CRM, both doing really well. You cannot handle the truth. Yeah. Okay. Launch event. Let me see. So there's going to be 5 big questions, according to investors.com, regarding the Cybertruck event for Tesla. It takes place at 2 p.m. Central Time, which honestly is not bad. It gives me a little bit of fucking break time, you know. All right. Listeners' questions for you are laughable. They really are, bro. I get questions all the time that are like, hey, will SPY go up, sir? You know, and again, at a certain point, it's just kind of like, all right, what do you want me to say? No, you know, SPY no go up. Thanks, guys. Looking forward to trading in a little bit. Yeah, we'll see. I'm interested in it. We'll see what happens. I know you use TOS, however, if you looked at the robot trade stuff with Webull. Yeah, Tesla is incredibly volatile. It moves very quickly, big percentages relative to everything else. Yeah, Tesla's going up and down all day. For real, 100%. Yeah, it will. All right, guys. You know the videos that have been catching me on the internet? The videos I've been catching me on the internet are fake sneaker sales, like somebody trying to sell somebody fake sneakers.
Astos and
NVIDIA pre-market looking good. Yeah, I'm assuming NVIDIA's up a lot because the other chip companies did really well. Like CRM and Salesforce did really well. Or no, Snowflake and Salesforce did really well yesterday for earnings. And I'm assuming that's just going to benefit everything. You know, like I'm assuming like we're going to be good there. No market reaction to PC is my vote. I think we're going to get something. I mean, again, you got to understand today's report is not just PCE. It's also PCE and unemployment jobless claims numbers, right? So it's two pretty big relevant metrics that drop right around the same time. And so I'm going to guess that we're going to have some type of volatility, you know? Like I'm going to guess we're going to move some. But yeah, in jiu-jitsu got like I pivot from liking gi, no gi, back to gi, back to no gi pretty often. Like originally I liked no gi better, right? Then I moved to liking gi better because I started learning about grips and I learned about spider guard and I got kind of good at spider guard and like, you know, or I thought I was good at spider guard. I'm not even gonna say I was good. I enjoyed using spider guard against people and I liked using it and it was pretty effective for my type of, you know, and then we also had another role where it was really crowded in no gi and so we couldn't stand and like everything was slippery and there's no grips. And so then I pivoted to liking gi more. But then the last time we rolled, you know, now I'm back. Last time we rolled in no gi, I did pretty well against like a much bigger, more experienced person. And so I don't know, man. I don't know which one I like more now. I guess they both have their own benefits. Sorry, this chat has no idea what I'm talking about, and that's okay. Do we have a prediction percentage for PCE today? Yeah, so PCE is expected today at on the year. PCE is expected at 3.5%. On the month, it's expected at 0.2%. We'll put this up on the screen so you guys can see it. Core PCE 0.2% month over month and 3.5% year over year. We will report the data as soon as released at 8:30. We also have jobless claims numbers. So put this up on screen so you guys can see it. Annual inflation data. Yeah, CPI inflation data came in way better than expected. Like way better than expected for jobless claims, which is great. You know, good. My son's also been doing a lot better in jiu-jitsu. You know, when I brought my son originally, he like freaked out when he lost, you know, and he recently got his first stripe. He moved up to like the better kids section. And, you know, last couple of days he's been with the older kids and like he's been losing because they're much better than him. I don't know the kid belting system, but like they're just much better, you know, than he was. But yesterday he lost. He got frustrated. He even cried a little bit, you know, and he's young. He's less than 10. And so I told him like, look, even if you cry, like that's all right. Just take some deep breaths, calm down and get back out there. And he did, man. He got frustrated. He almost freaked out, but he stopped himself. Took some deep breaths. Went out there and then won his next roll too. So like hopefully Jack can learn how to lose. Jack's just hyper competitive. I'm long into yesterday's high. Yeah, I mean, again, there's a couple of reasons I think the market could be green today leading into this report. The first one is that the first reason I think the market could be green is simple. Salesforce and CRM had great earnings yesterday. Great earnings. And really, if you look at the SPY, it didn't really follow the market up as much. But I think Salesforce, CRM having good numbers yesterday, gapping up heavily. I think European CPI coming in lower than expected. So European CPI data looking better than expected is an optimistic sign that could make markets go up. Hey, bro, what's your day job? I mean, okay, so I'm a real estate agent, like a licensed real estate agent. I also do some React and React Native mobile, like programming and development. I certainly make money from this YouTube channel, you know. But yeah, I do a few different things. Got a couple different income streams. Yeah, I'm not Salesforce and CRM. I mean, Salesforce and Snowflake had good earnings. So both Salesforce are both tech stocks. They're both software companies. But Salesforce, which is CRM, gapping up. It's at 251 right now. If we look at CRM, again, it's gapping up nicely at 251. If we look at Salesforce, which is Snow symbol, it's gapping up to almost 190. And so, yeah, we got a lot of optimism in tech right now. A lot of positive tech movement this morning. We also had European CPI that came in less than expected. So again, Nvidia gapping up. A lot of people are talking about where that one's going to go. It's at 483s right now. Let's see if it can hit 500. Again, a lot of it is going to be influenced by both the Tesla event, as well as PCE, as well as jobless claims. Hey, thanks so much, Christian. Appreciate it, brother. Thank you. Yeah, so I've got a lot of, like, I would say skills, I guess, Christian. Cue Taken quote, the movie Taken quote. Bad joke. Never mind. I've got a lot of, like, certifications, I guess is the best way to put it. Like, I can program if I need to. We mostly React, like JavaScript programming is what it is. So, like, I'm mostly a front end developer. And so I'm working on some stuff in the back end too. Not just me, but with some other devs. But I guess the point is that, like, I've diversified my skill set enough to where, like, I'm gonna be okay no matter what. But this YouTube channel does make money, and I am a real estate agent as well, right? So, like, regardless, I'm gonna be okay. With that though, at this point in time, income wise, I'm trying to diversify income. My income's already diversified, right? But what I mean by that is, like, I'm trying to now build investment portfolios in which they pay me a reasonable salary as well. Like, that's the goal right now. That's what I'm trying to do. That's what I want to do. Yeah, we're gonna stream the Cybertruck event. Took my 7-year-old to his first jiu-jitsu class yesterday. He is very bashful. He met a friend from school. He loved it. You influenced my decision to take him. Thank you, John. Hey, nice, Max. Hey, I'm happy for you, bro. Honestly, jiu-jitsu, great sport, dude. Great sport. I started, a while back, and I freaking love it, dude. It's super addicting. Like, my wife doesn't like it because I go so much, but, like, it's super addicting, man. It's really fun, and it's a great way to test yourself. And honestly, I don't want to seem braggy because, again, I still get beat up a lot. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a white belt. So, like, if I'm rolling with, like, a blue belt or a purple belt or anything above blue belt or anything above white belt, really, I'm getting destroyed. I'm getting destroyed. I'm just, so I don't know anything yet. But, like, I think I'm naturally good at it. I think I have good hips, which you need in jiu-jitsu. I'm very flexible, which you need in jiu-jitsu. And I'm pretty quick. And so I think I think it's something in which, like, I'm naturally good at, because I know I started jujitsu and I had some people that, like, welcomed me in, and they had been doing it for, like, a year prior, and, like, now when I roll with them, it's very difficult for them to win. Most of the time, I'm winning, which feels good. It feels great, But again, people are good at different things. I don't want to seem braggy because I'm not. It's just really fun to test yourself in that way and test yourself against other people. And so I'll probably talk about it a little bit too much here on the channel. Oh, wait, there's supposed to be. I'm sorry, guys. This is supposed to be instrumentals. I got too many monitors now, though. Bro, where is my music coming from? Nope, not that one. Nope, not this one. Let me exit out of some of this stuff. I kind of like this one though. Like, I wish y'all could listen to it, but all right. There it is. All right. Fixed it. All right, there we go. Hey, thank you, Solomon. I appreciate it, brother. Thank you, man. Learn to design trading algorithms. I mean, it's not hard to design trading algorithms. I already know how. It's not difficult at all. Now, it was difficult to do trading algorithms like 10 years ago. But modern algorithms, you can mostly have AI design it. You know what I mean? Like, watch. All right, so like, let me show you. If you don't believe me, you want to know why AI is the future? Yeah, let me show you. Let me show you why AI is the future here, guys. Seriously. I mean, if anybody pays attention to my Fed meetings, you know I regularly use AI to summarize economic reports, right? But all right, so we're here, right? We're using AI. Create me a React Native. Let's not do React Native. Create me a Pine script, which is like trading, which is trading view. Create me a Pine script trading indicator that alerts me when a symbol breaks over the VWAP and 200 day or 200 EMA. Breaks, we got to be specific. Breaks 1% or more over the VWAP and 200 EMA. Make the alert say VWAP break. That should just be good enough. Boom. And so my point is, it's not very difficult to, well, thank you, AI. Here's the code. Look, I copy this. Boom. That's it. That's it. It's done. Look. Now, to be fair, the code is certainly not perfect. It is certainly not perfect. They certainly have their own flaws and issues and everything with this. So the code is certainly not perfect, right? But it's as easy as that. Like, it really is. Like, if you, the good thing is that if you know how to program, you can fix it, right? You can fix it. It's going to be spaghetti code a lot of the time. And like, but if you know how to do it, you can fix it. Should I start a 100K combine and pass the 50K? Well, it's up to you, Ross. That's purely subjective, brother. Man, you seem like a legit nice person. I'm glad you were doing well. Hope you reach your goals. Thanks so much. But yeah, man, it's good for my son to learn jiu-jitsu. It really is. Like, he needed it, dude. He needed to learn to lose. Like, I've taught him baseball. Like, I've taught my kids a lot of stuff. Like, I taught my daughter softball, and she's like a great softball player now. I taught my kids jiu-jitsu to a certain extent before they started going. And especially like my daughter, who was like kind of like my daughter. Jiu-jitsu is one of those sports where it gets really addicting when you actually start to have some success. And so, you know, when I first tried to get my daughter interested in it, she was just kind of like, all right, Dad. Like, all right. I would show her, like, I showed her all the submissions that I didn't realize that the kids' classes couldn't do. Like, I showed her a guillotine. I showed her an Ezekiel choke. Like, I showed her all these different subs that the kids aren't actually allowed to do. And then my son actually tried it on a kid. I felt horrible, but, you know, it is what it is. They let it go. But, and my daughter was kind of like neutral on it. She was like, all right, Dad, you're talking about jiu-jitsu too much. Then she ended up going to class one day. And like, you know, my daughter's strong, man. And she just ran through a lot of the kids in class. And the kids have been training for months and months. And I don't know how long. Some of them were like gray and white belts. But she just kind of ran through these kids, you know. And then afterwards, she was like, okay. And then now she's really into it, which is fun. She's also doing like striking, like Muay Thai and stuff like that, though, as well. And so it's all fun, man. It's a good things for her to learn. Morning. What's up, G-Force? What's up, Abdul? Can you check? Yeah, I mean, I can check pity stocks, but I'm probably going to talk negatively about them. Just a heads up. You know, this thing looks like, what is this, a reverse split? Just looking at the chart, what is this, a reverse split? It doesn't look like a reverse split. It could be an acquisition at a specific price for ROVR. Did it just get acquired? Let's see. Yeah, so Rover Group acquired by Blackstone for $2.3 billion. Yeah, so anytime you see a gap up like this, just so you guys can understand what you look at in stocks, right? Anytime you see a gap up like this, the way you can tell if it's an acquisition or a reverse split, usually, the way you tell is that if the gap up goes straight up to a specific price with no nuance in between it, right? Like there's no movement in between that. It just went straight up to that specific price. If it goes straight up to that specific price and then stays there pretty flat afterwards, so basically if it goes like this, sorry, let me draw a better line. Basically, if it goes like this, goes straight up and then straight sideways, that's when you know it's either a reverse split or an acquisition, right? So it's gapping up to a specific share price. That if it's acquired at a specific price, that's what happens. So it's not actual strength. This one kind of is. It's an acquisition, but it's not as strong as you might think it is looking at the chart with a huge percentage gap up like this. If it's a reverse split, it's not strength at all. It's actually weakness, but VVOS. Yeah, I had a lot of people talking about VVOS. Crazy move up, man. You know, I get always nervous watching these moves, though, because these are the type of moves that, like, gurus use to sell people on penny stock nonsense. You know what I mean? I forgot to put a timer up, guys. My bad. Market's actually really flat, though, currently. All right. I think my math is right. Yeah, there we go. All right, guys, we got a minute and 7 seconds. So would you be willing to short that? No. Have AI write a Pine script code that finds engulfing candles. Honestly, what I would really like is a TOS code that does that. Let me see if I can. What I'd really like is a TOS code that did it. You know, so hold on. I think TOS is think script. Yeah. All right, so here's the code. Let me try to use it. Think script code for TOS. Let's try it. No, there's some mistakes here. See, I don't know I don't know think script, so I can't really say what's wrong with this. All I can do is show the code, what happened. It looks like Python though a lot. Hold on, let me go back to it. Previous code gave you these errors. Fix it, bro. All right, so it added the add label function. I'm not sure of the functions here on TOS. Hey, that worked. Hey, this worked. No errors. Okay. Let me make sure this is the right code. Hold on. How do I see the code? Edit properties. Nope. I want to edit source. Sorry, I'm completely okay. This is the right one. All right, so it's new study. Engulf is what I'll call it. All right, so here's the code. Problem is I don't see the code. I don't see any engulfing candlesticks. All right, let's keep messing with it and see if we can build something better. Update the previous code to which all the previous examples of engulfing candles show up on the chart going back 24 hours. All right. All right, so we used it because I see the bearish engulfing candle thing, but let's mess with this some more here. All right, studies, edit studies. I'm going to edit source and then just fix this. All right, so the conditional statement is drawing an error. All right, so this is a for loop. Here, so I'm not sure. Again, I don't know thick script, and so it looks a lot like Python, though. But point is, I don't know thick script enough to dissect what's wrong. All I can do is ask it to fix it. Yeah, so thick script doesn't use for loops. We can use security function to look back. All right, that makes sense. Okay, so yeah, apparently thick script doesn't use for loops. All right, let's fix this. Bro, they're still using conditional statements. There's a for loop, bro. You said you fixed it. It's like here, the code still includes a for loop, which isn't allowed in big script. See, the problem is I don't know if for loops aren't allowed or all loops aren't allowed. But here, anyways, guys, it's taking up too much of my time. I'll mess with this later. Yeah, I don't think any loops are allowed. I'm just going to have to tell it not to use loops at all. We'll keep messing with this. I have it up. I just want to see if it works here. We'll see if it does. Yeah, so the countdown timers for PCE data drop soon. I'll mess with this in the background, see if I can get it to work. Let's see, direct loops aren't open. No, they still have conditional statements. PC is not out. Yeah, so PC is not out. All right, guys. Again, hit that like button. Help me continue to grow the channel, team. We appreciate it. I wonder if they've gotten better. Currently at 5 long on NASDAQ, just messing around with cheap evaluation. So it'll be in an hour. Yeah, it's in a little bit less than an hour. So like we got this interesting thing. So we did it in which What language would I have to learn to master algo scripts? Pine script mostly. It looks like Python. Python's a language you probably want to learn if you want to do algos. And so Python, Pine script, whatever you want to use. So I picked up Chart Prime. Thanks for the suggestion. Hey, nice quality. Thanks so much, man. Again, SPY's still moving up. So we'll see if it continues to move up. But again, a CRM, a couple other things did really well with this. I'll have to go back and see when the engulfing candles were too. Engulfing candles are some of my favorite indicators though. All right, so again, we're still moving up at 456. Tesla has their delivery day event today. AI is getting really good, though. It really is. You know, that's why, you know, like AI is the future here. Because all right, so again, SPY's still moving up. Question is, when does the engulfing candle show up on the chart? Again, VVOS, crazy big move. Most people think GameStop will run like last time. Yeah, I know there's a lot of hype about SantaCon and GameStop. The problem with these stocks, though, guys, is that there's so many different conspiracies. And I get it. People are down big and they want it to go up. Like, I understand. I really do. But the problem is, like, hope is not a necessary. Like, you got to be smart. You can't just hope it's going to go up and use every event and every catalyst to say that it's just going to go crazy high. It's just not a reasonable expectation of it. SPY's still ripping up. Like I said, I thought the SPY might bounce because we had CRM, we had Snowflake, both have great numbers. They're gapping up big. European inflation data came in lower than expected. That looks good. And so I think we've had a lot of optimistic stuff in the stock market, lower CPI inflation data, good Salesforce and Snowflake numbers. And yeah, again, we'll see if the market keeps ripping. SPY at 456, 456. Hey, thank you, G-Force. 5 long NASDAQ looking good. Y'all do me a favor, hit the like button, guys. I'd love to break 100 likes if we can. We still got about an hour before this report comes out. But I'd love to break 100 likes if we can. Slap that like button, help support the channel. We appreciate it. Thanks so much. You know, the crazy part is, like, let me see when this dude started streaming, bro. All right, so SPY still ripping up big. I wonder how far the market's going to go up. Again, SPY at 456. So we have that pullback level. One of my favorite dip spots right here is the previous closing price and the volume weighted average price. You can see why is like if you look at the actual price action, pullback, nice bounce at that level. Pullback, nice bounce at that level. We're now over 456. I could also put Tesla up. Tesla has their big event today, which is kind of a really big event. You can see Tesla rising up. It's at 257s. Apparently today is going to be the day in which they start delivering the Cybertruck, and they're supposed to make some announcements for this event, but the event starts at 2 p.m. Central Time, so 3 p.m. market time is when the event happens. All right, so Bloomberg analyst says, where's Bitcoin at right now? Bitcoin at 38.25 thousand. Yeah, we're going to stream the Tesla event. Backtesting the chart prime market oscillator is pretty on point. Yeah, for sure. There's a lot of great stuff with there, man. There's just so much stuff that Chart Prime offers that you can use. When you think about like the just sheer number of stuff that they allow you to use, there's just a lot of cool stuff, man. Yeah, let me break. All right, look, guys, we need 15 more likes. We got 300 plus people here. Hit the little baby like button, guys. Have a heart. Hit the like button. Nothing like shaming my viewers so we can get likes on social media. Yeah, so rest in peace, Charlie Munger. He passed away yesterday. Charlie Munger and somebody else passed away yesterday. Who was it? Oh. Henry Kissinger passed away yesterday. Bro, these politicians live a long time, dude. 100 years for Henry Kissinger, Charlie Munger lived 99 years. I mean, I know he wasn't a politician, he was a businessman, but what it shows you, money helps you live a long time. What about PayPal ripping to 60? I'm in PayPal right now. I took a little bit off yesterday, and it looks like it was the right move because it pulled back. So my average price on PayPal is $51.50 or $51.46 to be exact. Yeah. Again, I question whether Warren Buffett actually drinks Coca-Cola, though. I know he says he does, but he's also a big holder in Coca-Cola stock. You know what I mean? So, like, the question is, does he really drink Coca-Cola? I don't know. All right, so the Philippines are going to block access to Binance. All right, so SPY still moving up. Look at Tesla still rising. Again, Tesla's right around that previous high up there. So we'll see if Tesla actually holds. Gold, man. Did gold ever run more? Like, I know it hit pretty high levels yesterday. So gold all the way back to 2058 hit highs yesterday of 2067. Almost up to 2070. So we'll see if that continues. Let me know in chat right now, guys. What are you getting for Christmas at home? What are you getting for Christmas at home? Hey, thank you, Servant. My guy. Hey, shout out to you, brother. Thank you so much for the $10 donation, man. Thanks so much. I appreciate it, brother. Hey, it's your first super on a live stream. Hey, thanks so much, man. Appreciate the donations today, guys. I'm genuinely curious of all the future scalpers here. Does anyone use order flow? No, not really. CRM had earnings yesterday, Robert. So CRM had earnings yesterday. All right, so we'll watch Tesla here. See if Tesla does anything. Yeah, GDP yesterday came in at 5.2%. 5.2%. So again, that's a pretty optimistic thing. The market didn't really react well, though, to it. So again, that could mean the market's still fearing inflation. You know, you can see the market dipped pretty heavily yesterday at the open. It pulled back basically all day, hit 454s on the SPY yesterday. Bounced all the way back up to 456, though, in pre-market this morning. All right, team. We'll look at Tesla, see if it breaks. But yeah, so the Cybertruck event starts today. Tesla dipped. Pricing of the Cybertruck is going to be the interesting part of it. Tesla announced the price would start at $39K in the Cybertruck event in 2019. He wanted the price to be under 50K at $39K, but I think they're going to. I think the prices are going to be around $50,000. The Rivian EV, for instance, is $73,000. So that's the question: is what price is the Cybertruck going to be at? I don't know. Yo, what's up, Pawn? Oh, John. Yeah, my name's John. Yeah, it was first revision. You sound more like a reporter. Yeah, I mean, we're a little bit of everything. You know, we cover news, we trade the open. Like, we're definitely not just a day trading guru. Like, we don't want to be. I'm not trying to be a day trading guru. We mostly cover economic data and trade economic data, and you know. But I mean, it's also 7:45 in the morning. We still got well over an hour until the market opens. You know, we got almost 2 hours until the market opens, so it's not really super wise to be like really actively trading right now. You know what I mean? So, I mean, we can, but it just doesn't seem like to be very, very wise. And so SPY is up a lot. It's distanced away from the VWAP here. So we'll see if we get some pullbacks now. Yeah, I don't know what the price is going to be. 50K is good. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, you could trade in futures right now. The futures market's open already. You can also trade in pre-market right now. Like, I could buy stocks right now if I want. You know, again, it's pre-market, so I have to use limit orders. But yeah, I can certainly buy stocks. Yeah, Tasty Trade. Well, options are a little bit different. I don't really trade on Tasty Trade. Yeah. But yeah, again, like, listen, guys, there's enough day trading gurus out there. The big problem with them is that they typically just have to fudge their numbers to look more successful than they are to sell their course or to sell their picks or to sell their call outs or whatever it is. And again, I'm not mentioning anybody specifically because it's not just one person. This is most day trading gurus out there, right? And there's some good ones. I'm not saying they're not. But when I started my channel, I wanted to kind of be the opposite. Like, there's enough of that out there, like, claiming to be rich off of trading when most of the time they're rich off of marketing, which is kind of like me as well. Like, I never claimed to be rich off of trading, right? Most of my money is made in marketing, you know what I mean? But that's understandable because I'm honest about it, you know? Now compare that to somebody acting like they're just getting rich in the stock market when really they're getting rich in marketing. And thus is the problem with a lot of modern trading channels. And so when I started beginner trading, I kind of wanted to be the opposite. I wanted to put out free content. I wanted to trade live. We still trade. I'm not claiming to be an expert. I'm not claiming to be a guru. I'm not acting like I'm the most successful trader in the world. I put out free content. I report economic data fast, which is why we get a lot of people tuning in. Like, when PCE drops, we're going to have over 1,000 people here because we cover it very quickly. I just want to give people a free spot where we don't sell a course. We don't sell our own service. We don't claim to be an expert. We don't act like a guru. We just put out free stuff and tell people the truth, which is what we try to do. Yeah, in pre-market, you could trade. You just can't use market orders. It's only purely limit orders. So that's the thing to understand, is that it has to be a limit order if it's in pre-market and in stocks, right? In futures, I can market in, market out all day. But if it's stocks, I got to use limit orders. But yeah, if it's stocks, you got to use limit orders. So it just depends on what it is. All right, guys. All right, so what's expected for PCE? PCE, I'm sorry, is expected today at 0.2%, guys, 0.2%. Does it come in higher or lower than that 0.2% reading? All right. All right, so we're going to do a poll right now. The data drops in 1 hour, really. So we're going to do a poll. Does it come in higher or lower than the 0.2% expectation? We also have jobless claims numbers today. And again, jobless claims numbers are expected today at 220,000. Last time they came in at 209,000. And jobless claims numbers are how many people are filing for unemployment. So it's how many people are filing for unemployment. That's what jobless claims are. It's how many people are actually filing for unemployment. With GDP coming in higher than expected yesterday, jobless claims numbers are probably a situation in which higher jobless claims numbers are going to be interpreted as better and lower jobs numbers are going to be interpreted as worse. Why is that? Because this is how many people are filing for unemployment right now, and the market fears spending. And so if the data comes in higher than expected, that might mean the market goes down, because it means, or that might mean the market goes up because that the market wants less spending. And what causes less spending? Less people working. Less people work, less people spend. In turn, market might react positively to higher people, to greater amounts of people claiming to be, or greater amount of people filing unemployment, if that makes sense, right? So that's the nuance you have to look at it with. Yeah. What's up, Abby? Yeah, real estate's super sketchy right now. PCE's in 38 minutes. 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. Yeah, housing market's really sketch. I think if the economy is slowing, does that mean it's probably coming in lower? Not necessarily. What's the difference in market orders and stock orders? Market orders means it gets an immediate fill at the best possible price, but an immediate fill is the priority. Limit orders means that it has to get filled at that specific limit price or better, and how long it takes to get filled is not a priority, right? So limit order means more rigid, has to get filled at that specific limit price or better, and it might take a while, or it might not get filled at all. Market order is basically like, get me in or get me out of this now. It has to get filled immediately at the best possible price. Is what it is. So I hope that makes sense. Housing more important. Do we have housing numbers today? We got personal spending numbers. Drop it at 8:30. We got Canadian GDP. Drop it. We got Lagarde speaking. Chicago PMI data coming out as well. Hey there, I'm back to your channel again. I've never seen you before, Ed. But regardless, you used to show your P&L before. Any reason it's not displaying? I show my P&L. I show my P&L pretty regularly. It depends on what it is, though. If it's my stock portfolio, most of these are investments or long term. I mean, if y'all want to see my P&L here, I guess I can show you. I took some off yesterday. Today in stocks, I am up 71,000 or $71. I wish 71,000. Sheesh. $71.37. Total in my portfolio, I am up about $1,500 total currently in my current portfolio in stocks. Today that increased by about $71. This includes swing trading and investing as well as day trading. But yeah, that's my P&L today. Again, a total portfolio right now, we're up about $1,500 in my current stocks and holdings. Again, I'm mostly letting them run, though. I'm letting a lot of them just move. Yeah, only 71K, chump change, bruh. Hey, what's up, Justin? Hey, thanks, man. Silver looks like it makes break. Yeah, I've seen you before. Might have been today, though. Yeah, the reason I say that is because you'll get people that go like this, right? You'll get people that go like this. They'll be like, oh, yeah, I'm a long-term viewer of your channel. And then they'll put out something like hypercritical, but they're really not a long-term viewer. They're most likely somebody that got banned and got all weird about it. So they're spending their time creating fake accounts trying to get back at me. And so they'll be like, yeah, I'm a long-term viewer. But John, you're a terrible person, is what they'll say. And I'm like, hey, I've never seen you before, bro. What you learn running a channel like this is that people are weird, and crazy, including myself. I'm definitely crazy. Top 3 craziest people ever. All right, guys. Hey, we got 35 minutes here. 35 minutes. Do you think making $350 a day is reasonable in day trading? I mean, define reasonable. Like that's a loaded question. You can't answer it. That's like me saying, is chocolate cake good? Yeah, I guess. Yeah, you can make $350 a day in day trading. Like, yes, that's certainly possible. Is it reasonable? Well, that depends on your account size. If you got a really large account, maybe. If you got a really small account, probably not. The problem in most day trading, situations is that reasonable is different than possible. You know, like what you'll get a lot of the time with like day trading gurus on the internet, like on social media, is that they make $500 one day in trading. Like say they make $500 in one day. And then they think they're God's gift to trading. And they start telling everybody, instead of saying, yeah, I made $500 one day, they start telling people, yeah, bro, I'm making $500 a day trading. You know, make $500 a day, bro, trading, you know, buy my trading course now. And it's like, do you really make $500 a day, or did you make $500 one day? You know, same thing, especially with like $1,000. You'll see this a lot. You know, somebody will take a really risky bet in trading. Tesla, rip it up, breaking up. Somebody will take a really risky bet in trading and they'll make $1,000, risking their whole account to do it. Right. And then they make $1,000. And what do they say? They say, oh, I'm making $1,000 a day. It's like, no, you're not, man. It's the same people on the internet that like they say they sell stuff on Amazon FBA. You know what I mean? Say they sell stuff on Amazon FBA. Right. So say they make $500, or say they have $500 in sales on one day. You know, and it's $500 in sales. So it's not $500 in income. It's $500 in sales. True margin wise, they're probably making, if you make $500 in sales, it varies depending on margins, but like you're probably going to keep what, 20% of that? You know what I mean? So you might keep $100 out of that 500. So really you're making about $100 on one day, but then they go around selling an Amazon FBA course talking about how they're making $500 a day. And then they post one day where they had $500 in sales to justify it. It's marketing. But my job as like I said, my job running this channel is to give people the truth. That's what happens. You know, that's the reality of it. And again, you can either be gullible and fall for that type of stuff, or you can be more resilient to that type of stuff and understand what it is, which is marketing. Tesla just broke highs. Tesla up to 247. Speaking of marketing, Tesla breaking up highs. Up to 247, so almost on the Tesla stock. SPY over 256. Let's see if it actually holds. You know, it depends on the account size, GeForce. So GeForce says you can go a little bit more risky, but again, I'll put it this way. Saying anything is reasonable universally is leaving a huge part of it out. It really depends on your account size, team. Like that's what matters most. You want to learn, it depends on your account size. All right. Like if you're going to be trying to make, if you got a $5,000 account and you're trying to make $250 a day, every day, like that's a very large portion of your account. Like if you got a $2,000 account and you're trying to make $500 a day on a $2,000 account, you know, like you're trying to make 25% a day. Like, of course, that's not reasonable. That's not, you might be able to do it. You're not going to do it every day, and you're not going to be able to do it consistently over long periods of time, you know? And so the thing you have to understand, it's all relative to account size. You know, you can make $250 a day, you know, but to do so safely, you're going to need probably like 100K, you know? And again, people are going to say, oh no, you know, I can make 1% a day, they'll say, or I can make 2% a day, or they can say whatever they want to say. But the more you try to make on any given day, the more you're putting your account at risk, without question, right? So like the more you try to make on any given day, the more you're putting your account at risk. So if you got a small account and you're trying to make 25% a day, you might get away with it a couple times being really risky. Eventually that account's going bye-bye, you know? Same thing if you're trying to make thousands a day and you got like a $10,000 account, like you could try to make 10% a day if you got 10K, and you can try to make $1,000 a day, and you might get away with it a couple times, you know, and that might make you even think that you're a better trader than you are, that somehow you've got some super secret system that just nobody knows about. Again, I've said this 1,000 times, but eventually the check's going to come and you're going to lose your whole account, you know? So like, if you want to make $250 a day, you probably need 50K at least to do so safely without risking your account in any extensive way. But again, I'm not saying people can't do it with less. I'm talking about just general risk management wise. It's kind of like if you ever learned how to count cards, in blackjack, right? Like you can have favorable odds and probabilities, but if you've got too small of a bankroll, even if you know how to count cards in the most effective way, variance is real. You might still lose your entire bankroll if it's not large enough, you know? But if you have a large enough bankroll, winning is almost guaranteed in card counting and blackjack. Same thing with trading, right? Now, winning's certainly not guaranteed. Let me rephrase, but the point still remains that like if you want to make big money, you usually have to have a big account. No, I don't mean with any. I'm just kind of specifying. Like in trading, you hear a lot of people selling courses, and again, they're selling courses with the like they're selling courses implying that you can get rich if you just follow them, and you could turn $1,000 into $100K if you just buy their super secret course and system. It's a fugazi. It's nonsense. It's not real. And you got to understand that to understand what is real. Yeah, you can trade for a living for sure. Of course you can. There's a lot of people that do it, but there's also a lot of nonsense, All right. Tesla now dipping down. We got the market pulling back some too. All right, so GameStop earnings next week should be really interesting also. Dude, I really appreciate what you're doing for the community. I think it's awesome for real. Hey, no worries, man. Again, I wasn't always like this, but again, I've experienced it, right? You learn the most through experience. Like I learned the most through going through it myself, right? So like I understand how it goes. Like I understand that a lot of marketing and trading is like getting rich quick, and like you're gonna get rich if you just follow whomever. The problem is that very rarely is it actually like that. Most of the time, they're just trying to sell you a course, and especially in penny stocks. Penny stocks is where it's the most egregious, And so like penny stock gurus will promise the world, they'll shame anybody, and like, it's just really bad there. And again, it's confirmation bias with a lot of people because they don't have that much money, right? And so they want to believe that like you can take $1,000 in trading penny stocks and roll that $1,000 into $100K just using the super secret penny stock system, right? But like, if it was that easy, again, if you want to know what works in stocks and financial markets in general, not just stocks, but all markets, if you want to know what works, follow big money. Watch what big money does. One thing that's universally true, unless big money is holding equity in that penny stock, big money does not follow penny stocks. They do not invest in penny stocks ever almost. They certainly don't day trade penny stocks. Right. And so if you want to know what actually works, it's very simple. Follow big money. Watch what big money does. And very rarely will big money ever touch a penny stock, let alone invest in them, day trade them, unless they're equity holders of the company themselves. What do you think about today's unemployment numbers? Yeah, so jobless claims drops today. Expectations are 220K. So 220,000 is what's expected for jobless claims numbers. It'll be interesting to see what happens here because, again, the market yesterday reacted somewhat negatively to unemployment or to GDP data coming in higher than expected. So, like, obviously, GDP data, gross domestic product, is a very important reading for recession fears and for the economy in general. And what was conventionally good, which is high GDP, better than expected GDP, that's conventionally good in markets, was now seen as a negative to a certain extent. The market did not like higher than expected GDP numbers, most likely because of inflation fears, right? If inflation's really bad, a lot of spending coming in, i.e. high GDP, might not be an optimistic sign for that inflation. You know what I mean? As well as like the other interesting part of today's jobless claims report is that when Powell has spoke regarding the economy over the last couple months, one of the things that he's been very consistently saying is that he wants to push down the labor market. He thinks the labor market has been, quote, too resilient and that it needs to cool. It needs to get pushed down. It's been much stronger than anticipated is something that you'll hear him saying. And he said if we want to hit the 2% target over time for inflation, that we need the labor market to cool. What means the labor market is cooling? More people filing for unemployment, less people working, right? And that's obviously true. And so with the nuance of today's jobless claims report, I think it's going to be, again, something in which the higher jobless claims numbers, basically more people filing for unemployment, is going to cause a more positive reaction in markets. Now, it's going to be hard to tell today, though, because we also have the PCE inflation report, right? And this is a very big report as well. PCE is the personal consumption expenditure report. It's actually the Fed's preferred inflation metric. So this is actually the Fed's preferred inflation metric. It's what the Fed uses to gauge inflation. And so that drops at the same time in about 22 minutes. We got PCE data coming out. And again, this is the Fed's preferred inflation metric. Like now, CPI gets more eyes on it. Like when we cover CPI, that definitely gets more attention, definitely gets more eyes. Retail certainly reacts more to CPI. But this is a very big report, a very relevant report, a very interesting report. And yeah, it's going to be something in which we'll have to wait and see. The market's already up a lot. You know, we had European CPI come out lower than expected today. So European inflation data came in low today. And again, maybe that's a positive sign for what we might get for PCE today. Again, it's the personal consumption expenditure. That is expected, as you can see at the bottom of the chat, at 0.2%. At 0.2%. And so, yeah, that's expected at 0.2. Jobless claims numbers are expected at 220,000. Look, we are in another trade here on futures, up about $70. I think I'm just going to hold this. We're already made a little bit here. So we already made a little bit here. You can see we're already up about 300, and that's excluding the $60 in gain. So we're up about 360 right now. And we've basically just been riding this nice little trend that we have on a 1-minute chart. Yeah, a lot of data released at 8:30. Big reports today. I mean, that's a pretty loaded question, Ed. I'm not. It varies from trade to trade. I mean, I don't know if I necessarily agree with that straitjacket. Straitjacket said if all those selling courses were so great, they would not be selling courses. I don't necessarily agree with that. And I'm okay with courses. It might seem like I'm not. And I understand thinking I'm not as well. But like, I'm actually okay with selling courses as long as it's reasonable and you're honest. You know, like courses can be useful. They consolidate information so you don't have to go find them. You know, I think most content that's available in those courses is also publicly available for free on the internet. You don't need to buy courses, especially not for thousands of dollars. But regardless, the point remains that courses can still be useful as long as it's reasonable. You know, and again, I think smart people diversify income streams, right? So even if you were a great trader, there's nothing wrong with selling a course because there's nothing wrong with diversifying income streams. Trading is not necessarily the most stable of incomes, you know? So like, I'm not mad at somebody if they diversify their income and sell a course. I mean, I'm not going to do it, but like, I'm not mad at that as long as they do so in a reasonable way. If they're promising riches, that's where I start to have problems with it. Good luck, everyone. Don't believe negative talk. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Again, I'm not saying you can't trade the TQ or the SQ. Most of the time I trade the SPY and the Q. What I'm saying is that making 1% of your account size daily again, the most successful traders in the world make 30% a year, 30%. And that is the elite of the elite, you know? So like telling people they're going to make 1% a day, I mean, maybe they do, but if they did, Goldman Sachs would pay them 30 million a year to do so. You know what I mean? And they wouldn't even blink an eye for it. Like they would pay whoever can make 1% a day, probably billions if they could, you know, because that would be so valuable. And so again, people can say they're making 1% a day, and they can say they're doing so consistently with a large sample size, and maybe they are, but I think it's unlikely. Hey, what's up, Brandon? Yeah. Okay, all good, guide. Yeah, all good, brother. The guillotine course, that's right. Yeah, but with Top Step, you're also getting like 50K in funding. You know what I mean? So it's different. You're getting a large sample size. All right, team. All right, guys. Hey, we got 17 minutes. 17 minutes. We got over 600 people here already. I think it's going to do the same as yesterday, run up and then come back down. We're going to take puts at 458. Hey, good luck. Okay. This actually is super helpful regarding Twitter. I can go to Twitter. I can go to settings. Ahaha. Wait. Lists. All right. Settings of privacy. All right, guys. Hey, so look at the SPY rip back up here. We're still in this one trade in which we're up about 175 bucks. I'm going to go ahead and take that off here, especially ahead of this PCE report. And so we are up a little bit under 5 on the day on this account. We got about a 4.5 to 1 win-loss ratio, up 480 so far. Nice little cushion heading into some big reports today, some big economic releases. Who? Oh. What do you think about FTX says allowed to sell 900 million in actives? Will crypto crash? I don't know. John, how do you like how Elon told them? I'm not sure. Yeah. Definitely see the SPY over 460 today. Yeah, the interesting part of the SPY, I think, and the levels I think we got to look at regarding this is that, remember, the previous year high of the SPY is at 460, basically, right? Even more so than that. The high of the last few years really is at 460. Number one, like all the way back to early 2022, so early last year. The high of the last 2 years basically is at 461.60 or so, 461.60. Let me see what the high is. The high is at 462.07, 462.07. So 462.07 right around here is a pretty big level. There we go. So 462.07. So way up here is the high of the last few years. A very big level, very important level, as well as just basic 460 is pretty big too. So the Tesla Cybertruck delivery event is today. So yeah, the Tesla Cybertruck delivery event is today. It's pretty big. Who knows what it's going to do? We're going to stream it live like we always do. Yeah, I didn't get enough sleep, dude. I've been up since 2 a.m., man. All right, we got about 700 people here. We still got 14 minutes left. All right, so we want PCE data to come in less than expected. We want PCE under expectations, guys. So lesser PCE is lesser inflation. Right? PCE is personal consumption expenditures. It's basically how much people are spending for personal consumption. Again, that drops today. Less is more here. We want less PCE data. We want less PCE. We don't want super high PCE. We want less than expected PCE numbers. We also had some earnings that were reported today. Let's get these ready. Kroger released numbers. Got the reported earnings here. SPY's still testing highs. Oh, man. Dude, we got some stressful family members here, man. What do we got? All right, so Kroger and TD dropping earnings. Others included ASO, Big Lots. Big Lots, I can only imagine, is in trouble, as well as Build-A-Bear. Build-A-Bear seems kind of gimmicky. So I'm kind of skeptical about their stock overall. Express released misses. Express is like a fading fashion brand. It's one of the reasons I just don't trust fashion. We had Kirkland's. So we made that post. What's the chance to get less PCE? I mean, there's not really chances. The expectation, which is like the bank expectations, what the banks are betting on essentially. The expectation for that is 0.2%. 0.2%, 3.5% year over year. What's your opinion for NVIDIA outlook? I don't know. I think NVIDIA is up a lot. The PE ratio is very high, but also I think AI is an incredibly influential technology. We were doing coding on it earlier and showing like coding and stuff. It's just a really influential technology. And so I think it's going to change production for software, especially. You know, people worry about it and they have this bias against it, like it's going to gain sentience and then all of a sudden turn into Skynet and destroy the world. I think that's a ridiculous thing, at least anytime soon, especially not with what we currently have. I think the biggest way it's going to affect markets right now is jobs and production. You know, it's going to make us able to produce much more than we used to be able to produce in software and tech. I know they released the report at 8:30, but when do you think they have all the data ready to be put out? And I mean, I'm not sure about all that. That's insider stuff. I'm not sure. NASDAQ struggling. Yeah, we're going to cover jobless claims numbers as well. All right, guys. Yeah, dude. Some of these crypto coins are just should be shamed. All right, Tesla with a big pullback ahead of this report. We still got about 8 minutes left, but Tesla dipping down under the volume weighted average price to SPY at 456. All right, guys, we still got 7.5 minutes left. What's up, Shepard? What's up, KB? It seems too easy to inside trade or pass the info to someone who can. Yeah, I understand why you might think that, and to a certain extent, it probably is, right? I mean, I certainly don't have the info, ahead of time. I wish I did, but I certainly don't. It's not as easy as you think. The reason it's not as easy as you think is because technology has become increasingly interwoven. Like technology has become increasingly connected on the internet. And so like what you do on the internet, as time has gone on, is becoming less and less anonymous, more and more watched, more and more documented, I guess is the easiest way to put it. And so it's not easy for like a CEO to front load into something right now, because again, there's documented history of them doing so if they do it. The people who are probably making the most money from something like that are like people that are not directly connected to it, that like hear some stuff that aren't directly connected to it and can kind of like separate themselves from the, whomever it is. But again, it's not as easy as you might think. I mean, it's easy, but it's also very easy to get caught doing it, which is why like I don't do any of that stuff. We keep it very, very conservative with what we say here. It's one of the reasons I never tell anybody to buy anything. I never tell anybody, I'm very even predictions I'm very careful with, and I did that intentionally. When a lot of gurus are getting, I just rather be honest. All right, guys. Hey, we got about 6 minutes. All right, guys. Let me know in chat. You think the market's gonna go up or down from this? Up or down? Let me know. Will the market go up or down? Slap that like button. Will the market go up or down or sideways? Let me know. We got almost 1,000 people here right now. Almost 1,000. Hit the notification bell too, team. We appreciate it. Again, we got jobless claims, unemployment also dropping. Expectations are 220K. 220K. All right, team, 5 minutes. All right, let's look at the chat. Chat says up, down, up, down. Mixtape coming soon. Up, big down, down. Up. Rockets. A lot of people think we're going to go down from it. Again, expectations for PCE are 0.2%. 0.2%. Last time we showed up at 0.3%. So last time we showed 0.3, this time we're expecting 0.2%. Core PCE, guys, again, just to clarify, core PCE is the one I'm talking about. Core PCE is the big one. It excludes food and energy. That's the big one. Core PCE is the biggest one here. Regular PCE, I mean, you can watch it, but it's not the big one that everybody's going to be referencing and paying attention to. And it's not the big one that's going to move markets. Core PCE is. All right. And on the year, it's expected at 3.5%. On the month, it's expected at 0.2%. We also have jobless claims, unemployment filings coming in at 220,000 expected. We'll see if we come higher or lower. Again, if we come in higher than that for jobless claims, probably going to evoke positive reactions in markets. If we come in lower than this in PCE, probably going to evoke positive reactions in markets. But again, it varies. It could move either direction. We got 4 minutes, team, 4 minutes. SPY still moving up, about to break highs. We'll see if it does. Doubling down on the up. Hey, get your predictions in now before this data drops, guys. Get your predictions in now. Nvidia pushing up to 484s right now. 484s. The SPY up to 456.50. All right, team. Hey, we got a couple minutes here. Hit the subscribe button. I'm also going to throw this thing in sub-only mode. If you haven't already, subscribe. You know you want to. Try it one time. It might feel good. Subscribe now, guys. Subscribe now. I appreciate it. We're throwing in sub-only mode. We got about 1,100 people here. We still got 2.5 minutes. 2.5 minutes. Be ready. Again, we get thousands of people here because we cover this quick. So if you want a one-stop shop, everybody announce yourself. Show us you're subscribed. PCE expected at 0.2%. 0.2%. You want a one-stop shop where we cover all the economy data you can eat. You know, we cover all the economic filings, all the Fed meetings, updates, all the big earnings reports, NVIDIA, GameStop, whatever. We're going to stream it all completely live like we always do. So sub if you haven't yet. It's a good one-stop shop. People say the best thing about this channel is that we're reliable. They know if we got something big going on, they can tune into my channel and I'm going to cover it. And so, hey, hit the subscribe button. We got a minute and a half left. Tesla started to move up a little bit. The SPY just recently broke highs. I think that's the highs. Yeah, that's the high of the day. So SPY recently broke highs of the day here. Be ready, guys. We got a minute and a half. No, I'm not going to go to SantaCon and dress up like Roaring Kitty. I've got a family and kids. I ain't got time for that. You know, no offense. I mean, listen, do your thing. I'm not judging you if you do it, but I'm not doing it. I hope GameStop goes up, though, with that said. I hope they go up, but yeah. Sorry. Hey, thanks so much, team. All right, guys, here we go. Less than a minute, 45 seconds. 45 seconds. We got about 1,300 people here live. Be ready. You guys ready here, team? Here we go. 30 seconds. 30 seconds. Always has the data. Hey, we try. Bob, we try. Thanks so much. Thanks, Ricky. Thanks, Time. What's up, James? What's up, Jan? SPY very risky to trade ahead of reports. 20 seconds, guys. 20 seconds. Make sure you hit the live button next to the play button. Make sure you're fully called up to the stream. All right, make sure you hit the live button next to the play button. Make sure you're fully called up to the stream, team. All right, here we go. Here we go. All right, here's the report right now. Man, that timer was on point. Nothing out yet. Nothing out yet. SPY hasn't really moved. SPY hasn't really moved at all. All right. PCE. Jobless claims came in less than expected at 218,000. 218,000. PCE hasn't reflected yet on anybody. It doesn't look like. So PCE hasn't dropped yet. Jobless claims came in at 218 versus 220 expected. PCE isn't out yet for anybody, I don't think. Market's still waiting on that. Yeah, everywhere I look, PCE isn't dropped, which is weird. They're a little bit late. All right, guys, came in at 3.5 versus 3.5%. 3.5 versus 3.5% for PCE data on the year. So core PCE 3.5 versus 3.5, 0.2% versus 0.2%. As expected, jobless claims came in almost as expected at 218, so slightly under expected. But PCE showed up as expected here, guys. So consumption showed up as expected at 0.2% versus 0.2%. Last time it came in at 0.7%. Jobless claims came in at 218,000, 218K versus 220 expected. So almost as expected there too. But yeah, basically everything was flat here, team. Everything was flat. PCE came in at 0.2. put this up on screen. And then we'll build another one that covers all of it. PCE came out at 0.2, 3.5 on the year as expected. Jobless claims came in at 218 versus expected 220. Here's the report, both of the reports right here. Again, guys, we cover this fast. Market hasn't really reacted at all, so whoever voted on a slight reaction or no reaction was correct. Again, guys, if you haven't already, team, if you haven't already, check out TopStep. TopStep is a great way to day trade some of these economic reports like this. Again, in the futures market, you can day trade short. You can see I've been mostly trading the NASDAQ, which is essentially the Q. It's the same price action as the Q in futures. And the patterns in the S&P or the NASDAQ are very similar to blue chip patterns. Like they follow the market essentially. I can essentially trade the SPY or the Q with no PDT restrictions. I can day trade short, buy market, sell market in futures without the PDT rule. And again, TopStep is the most legit funded program for futures in the world. They give you a demo. The base one is a 50K demo. It's only $49 for this challenge. If you're good enough to pass the challenge, if you can make 3K in profit on that 50K demo without losing 2K, they fund you 50K with a 90% split, and they pay out millions, fund thousands of traders every single year, pay out millions in actual withdrawals every single year. Man, Carol is horrible about this. 8:30 every day she's calling me. And so again, if you haven't already, guys, check out TopStep. Great way to help support the channel. They are a sponsor of mine. I'm certainly biased in their favor because they pay me money as a sponsor, but very useful. Great way to learn day trading. Most day traders lose, and so it's a great way to limit your risk. You're risking $49 for the base one. Makes a lot of sense. Hold on, guys. I took the trap. All right, guys. Sorry, Carol's here. Triple leverage options. Yeah, so sorry, Carol's here. All right, guys. Hey, market has basically been flat here. I'm not sure what I want to do. You can see in TopStep's funded account program, I am up $500 basically today. $500 basically. Only a drawdown of $15. And again, the system I use to pass these funded account programs is very simple. I build up a cushion. Once I have that cushion, I take larger risks. And so you can see I built up a cushion here of about $150 to $200. Then once I had that, I took noticeably larger size and took more risk and was able to turn a $15 max drawdown trading day into $500, right? And so again, you build up a cushion. I take one contract if I first start building up a cushion. If I can build up a cushion of $100 to $200, then I can take 2 or more contracts and then slowly rinse and repeat. If I'm unable to build up a cushion, then I just walk away. You know, I walk away with a small $100 or $200 loss. But what it allows me to do is a lot of the times on my small days, I'm down a couple $100. Maybe I'm up a couple hundred. Maybe I'm break even. But my good days, I'm up 1,000 plus, right? That's the easiest way to get funded in these funded account programs, in my opinion. Great way to learn how to do this. And a great way to try it out. Again, try out TopStep. Funded account program in futures. They give you a demo. They test your skill. If you can pass the test, they fund you. If you're not good enough to pass the test, you're probably going to lose less, again, than you would put up the money up yourself. And so again, if you want to check them out, again, we put the link up. You can also find the link in the description. No, Carol's not trying to troll. She's just got my son here. Hey, what you doing, bro? Where you at?
I just want to leave so I can take a nap.
Okay, hey. Here, just make sure no cords are about that. All right, here, he's got to stay right there.
Okay. You can sit there and play sleep.
Yeah, it's fine.
He's got a drink right here. Like, I made him a drink with some electrolytes.
All right. Yeah. Jack, you're going to have to deal with it, bro. Love you. All right. Fiverr, I don't know enough about Fiverr stock to really say yes or no. I really just don't know enough about Fiverr stock to say good or bad. All right, we're scalping a little bit more off of this report. We got one contract at the NASDAQ and TopStep. We're up 70, 80, 90. Go ahead and take that off, lock that in a little bit. So we scalped that one short position here, that one candle move. And so now we are up on the day. Where are we at? We didn't get enough from as much from that as I wanted. We made $75 from that, which is fine. But now we're up a little bit under 600. So not too shabby here. Market's starting to look a little weak on the SPY. We're also looking at the NASDAQ, which is basically the Q. When we look at Tesla, for instance here, guys, when we look at Tesla at 245.60s. So 245.60s. Let's break it down with everything else. Although PCE was basically flat. I have a biotech that just announced the buyout. Would you sell today or wait until the buyout happens next year for a higher price? I'm not sure, brother. It depends on the individual stock, and I don't know much about penny stocks there, dude. Good luck. I hope you make money. You can make at least 1% a day trading the TQ and SQ easily. You sound like you're about to sell somebody a course or that. You either sound like, here's the problem, right? Like, you want to know the real problem. All right. The real problem is confirmation bias. Confirmation bias is such a powerful thing, man. Basically, if you don't know what I mean by confirmation bias, people want to believe things that they want to happen, right? So people are more likely to believe like favorable things for them. All right. And so what I mean by that is that if you got some guy marketing to you and you're struggling, say, you know, you're out of work, say you're unemployed, right? You don't really have a job. You're struggling to like find validation in your life. Like maybe you don't have that much money or you're not really happy. And you got some guy that comes off the internet and all of a sudden starts telling you, hey, you can get rich if you just buy his day trading course. You can make all this money if you just buy his day trading course, right? You might want to believe that. He said, oh, you don't even need a lot of money. You can make 1% a day with $500, you know, like you're more likely to believe that. Why? Is because you want that to be true. Of course, I would love to make 1% a day. I would absolutely love it. You know, I'd love to win the lottery every day, 5 days in a row. You know what I mean? But that doesn't mean it's more likely to happen just because I want it to happen. You know, and so the problem is that people end up getting talked into buying these courses from these different gurus, right? These gurus sell these courses for thousands of dollars, and like confirmation bias in their head wants to believe that it was worth it. You know, I spend $5K on a course. That's the best course I've ever taken. You know, it might say one sentence, greatest course ever. You know, of course, deep down, I know it wasn't, but I'm trying to justify that expense. I'm trying to justify following a specific guru in my head. And so saying making 1% a day is possible is way different than saying making 1% a day is easy. Like, that's crazy. If it was easy, bro, I promise you, you would have tons of people showing their full broker statements year after year after year. Like, imagine if you're selling a course, right? What better credibility building thing is there besides showing your actual broker statements, not just one time, because a lot of the time they'll cherry pick 1 month where they were profitable and they'll show everybody and they'll act like that's just consistent throughout the year. What that really means is that that's probably the 1 month they made money, you know, because if it wasn't, if I'm selling a course, there's no better way to build credibility than to show my full broker statements with everybody. And I'm not talking about Profitly. I'm not talking about like some manipulatable site. What I'm talking about is actual broker statements from people that are actually doing this. You know what I mean? There's no downside, and it would only build credibility. You know why you don't have a bunch of people showing you their broker statements day in and day out every month like that? Is because nobody's freaking doing it. You know? And again, they can say whatever they want. People can try to sell whatever they want. That's the truth, right? Again, be smart, guys. Do you think PMI affects markets? It might move markets a little bit. But like how much? I don't know. You know, PMI, not the biggest release. It depends on which one, though. There's some PMI releases that are really big. There's some PMI releases that are just not big at all. So it really just depends on which one. Hey, bud, you doing all right, man? No? What's wrong, dude? What's wrong? What feels bad? Your head hurts? Come here. So many people are gullible. Yeah, I mean, it's I don't say this to feel superior. You know, like I say this so people can recognize what it is and protect themselves from that. You know what I mean? And a lot of people don't like me in trading. You know why? It's because I speak the truth. And like that affects people's business model. And I'm not saying there's not good courses. I'm not saying there's good day traders. I'm not even saying there's not people who can sometimes make 1%. Okay, that sometimes can make 1% on any given day. All right, there's of course people like that out in the world. But if you look on the internet and you look on social media, everybody's doing it apparently. And like, that's just ridiculous. You know what I mean? And when I talk about the broker statement thing, or when I break it down like that, you don't really get much kickback because people know what I'm saying is true. Like deep down, they know. You know what I mean? But sometimes I'm shattering their dreams by saying it, you know, and like that's a hard thing for a lot of people to like be introspective enough to look at objectively. And again, this is coming from somebody who I'm not claiming to be super profitable trading guru or anything like that. We mostly cover economic data here. And so like my individual like day trading results are insignificant to what I'm saying. All right, so we'll see how the Cybertruck, speaking of confirmation bias, we'll see if the Cybertruck does well today, guys. We'll see. Cybertruck delivery event is today, starting at 2 p.m. Is it? Let me see. Oh, it's at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time today. Okay, that's not bad. How's the jiu-jitsu going? Love hearing about your journey. Jiu-jitsu's fun, man. Still pretty addicted to it. Yeah. Again, like I said, I was talking about this earlier. I'm kind of going back and forth between liking gi and no gi more. You know, I think right now I like gi more still. But at the same time, it depends. I think it depends on who I'm rolling against. Like if I'm rolling against like a black belt, I'd rather no gi. Because no gi, I'm going to be able to slide out a lot of those submissions a little bit easier than in gi, right? If I'm going against a black belt in gi, I'm getting collar choked. You know what I mean? But if it's no gi, I have a little bit more of a fight in me. If we're talking about against people about my same rank in jiu-jitsu, I like gi more because I can use the same things to my advantage. Been doing a lot of arm bars lately. Like I've been kind of evolving. At first, I was purely guillotines. Lately, I've been doing a lot more arm bars. I've been shooting from some arm bars from like mount, from guard, stuff like that. I've been doing a little bit of ankle locks lately, straight ankles. So those are fun, but yeah, I'm having fun with it. All right, guys, Tesla moving back up over the volume weighted average price. The SPY moving back up as well. It's at 456 here, guys, 456. Hey, thanks, Rush. Let's try that theory. Hey, Bruce, I don't want that smoke, dude. I heard it's 3 p.m. Is it? Oh, it's 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so it's 2 p.m. Central. Yeah, that's not bad. Again, I got up at 2 a.m. this morning, wasn't able to go back to sleep. And so, you know. Fed inflation gauge slows to 3% annually in October. We're still up over 12% in the last 2 years. Yeah, I mean, I understand we're up. But the natural state of inflation is that it goes up over the years. Now, it might be rising faster than it over the last couple of years. It might be rising faster than it historically did, but it is starting to slow a little bit. It's not going to go down. Usually, at least, inflation doesn't drop. It just slows. And we have seen slowing in inflation over the past couple years. You know, a lot of the time, the problem is like people are pushing for a crash. They get influenced to do so by politics or the news or whatever it is, right? And I'm pretty neutral on all those things. But you guys know me. Crashes don't have to happen. They're very difficult to predict, yet everybody on the internet, especially here, thinks that the market's going to crash all the time in some never-ending state of constant crashes. And most of the time, that's wrong. Time has shown that me criticizing people that are constantly predicting crashes was the right thing to do, because since I've been doing that, the market has ripped up a lot. And again, maybe we do crash. I don't know. Do you think people are more gullible or more desperate nowadays? I don't think they're more of anything. I think people are people, and I think they always have been. I think if we weren't on the internet now, you know, there would be get rich quicks, you know, VHS tape back in the 90s trying to do similar things. You know what I mean? I think people are just people, and everybody wants to get rich quick. And so, if you can pander to that audience, it is what it is. It's one of the reasons, like, I have sponsors and I love my sponsors, and I don't really accept sponsorships from a lot of different like companies. Like, I'm pretty strict. I only have 2. But the sponsors I have are sponsors I truly believe in and I think are useful for trading, but even when I promote my sponsors, again, like I always say, I try to be objective about it and I try to be transparent. I say, hey, I'm biased because they pay me money, which is natural and normal. And I still earn a pretty good living doing it just like that. And so I'd rather be real and still do well than do really, really well and mislead. You know what I mean? No, I know you're not saying crash spawn. It's all good, dude. What do you think SPY will do today with PCE coming in flat? I genuinely have no idea. It's starting to look a little bit more strong right now. It's testing highs. The previous highs were up here at 456.60s. So we're starting to look a little bit better. Tesla moving back over the volume weighted average price. I think more so than anything else, this delivery event today at 3 p.m. Eastern, so basically an hour before the closing bell, is going to be one of the more influential things today. I think Tesla is a very heavily weighted stock. It's, if I remember correctly, it's the number 6 weighted stock in the S&P and the NASDAQ. Right, that's a heavy weight in markets. Right, that's a big weight. And so with that, if they come out and have an underwhelming event, which happens a lot of the time, Tesla might fall. That might drag the rest of the market down. If they come out and something surprises the public in an optimistic or positive way, then maybe we're going to get some better movement. You know what I mean? Maybe Tesla will gap up or whatever, but we'll have to wait. I don't know if the market's going to go up or down or sideways now. Inflation data was neutral. Jobless claims was pretty neutral, slightly lower than expected, which means more people working. Gold, what did gold do from this inflation report? Sick of Tesla dumping the market every time. We don't necessarily know if it's going to dump the market or not, but just be smart here, team. Tomorrow we also have Big Papa Jerome Powell speaking. So that might be a big influence too. All right, so 67% of Americans say their income isn't keeping up with inflation, and 42% say their standard of living is declining, according to Empower. All right, gold at under. I mean, gold's pretty flat today too. I mean, it's been moving a little bit. It's gone back and forth from 2066 down to 2057, but it's still pretty neutral today. That is. A lot of market news this week. Next week we got unemployment and Sorry, guys. Talking here, nobody. You got to stay here. Can you recap PCE data? Yeah, PCE came in flat. Came in neutral as expected for both yearly inflation data as well as monthly inflation data. Very neutral, very flat. With that, jobless claims numbers came in slightly under expected, which is basically means less people filed for unemployment than expected, but it was a very slight number under expected. And so mostly flat economic reports today. The big thing coming out today, again at 3 p.m. Eastern time, Tesla is doing their Cybertruck delivery event. That could influence the market. And so that's the big thing to watch right now. Gold pulling back. Market started to flush a little bit under some levels here. Watching NVIDIA, which is pretty flat too. Apple is still up a lot today as well, though. So we got a lot of strength in blue chips and equities. Tech specifically is pretty strong. Coinbase met with the SEC 30 times over the last 18 months. What to watch? Watch beginner trading. That's the better move. Meta is weak, man. It's been a while since I've looked at Meta stock. Meta's definitely not weak. It's definitely not green, or it's definitely not super strong. It's pretty flat on the day. But Meta, man, Meta has had a freaking year, bro. Meta, look at Meta. Meta and NVIDIA both. Look at Meta here. Again, Meta's completely flat on the day. It's slightly green technically, but it's not weak. Not yet, at least. But again, look at Meta this year. Meta has gone from $109 a year ago all the way up to freaking $332. One of the biggest increases in stocks. And again, I'm not afraid to admit this. I was very sketched out investing in Meta. You know, when Meta was at 109s, I was super skeptical of it. I didn't like it at all. I was incredibly skeptical of it and didn't want to invest in it. And it looks like that was obviously wrong. I mean, I felt like I shorted it, so I didn't lose money aside from not making money on it. But I just thought Meta was in trouble. I thought Meta had lost a bunch of money on the metaverse. I thought that they could struggle, and so I wasn't going to invest in them. And man, they just proved me wrong. They ended up having one of the best years. Look at the Tesla stock dipping down some. So Tesla stock at 245s now after a pretty big red candle on Tesla here. That's a pretty big dip. Yeah, just a crazy increase. And then, of course, NVIDIA has had an even crazier increase going from freaking 100 something all the way to 5. I don't know that much about Unity. It looks like it's struggling over the last few years. You know, it was at 210 for Unity all the way back in 2021. It's now at $30. It's a pretty bad decline. But maybe, I'm not sure. I'm leap shorting everything in 2024. Hey, good luck, man. Again, I tell people this all the time, and it's important for people to understand what I mean by this. You can short the market. I'm not judging you if you short the market. All right, I'm really not. Like, do whatever you want to do. Not judging you if you short. Okay, what I will say, though, is that if you're talking long term, if you're shorting the market long term, and when I say long term, I mean years, it's one of the biggest sucker bets you could ever make. You know, like, again, I'm not saying you're not going to make money shorting the market long term. Like, if you get lucky and you catch a crash, sure, like, you might make some money. What I'm saying is that the people that are long-term bearish in the broad markets, like in the blue chip, S&P 500, NASDAQ, index funds, stuff like that, if you're long-term short, you don't understand statistics. Because again, the market's got to go up over time. The market's going to go up. A lot of people acting like the SPY or the market. Again, I talked about this yesterday. A lot of people are acting like we're just so extended on the upside, like we're just breaking highs. Honestly, the last time we were anywhere close to lifetime highs was at the beginning of last year. You know, it's been years since we were anywhere close to long-term highs. You know what I mean? Like, we're finally starting to edge back, but we've basically been on a rebound back up from this big 2020, you know, where essentially what happened was the 2020 like mini correction, or 2020, not mini correction, the 2020 correction or crash or whatever you want to call it, was more of a correction. But we've basically been rebounding from that lately, you know. But again, typically, if we're going to crash, it's going to be something in which we're just like ripping up, breaking highs constantly. And that's just not where we're in. We're actually in a U-shaped recovery right now. You know, so again, people acting like we're so extended, we just have to crash is not necessarily accurate. And again, I've been saying this since back here. You know, I started telling people this whenever we started to get a lot of people telling me the market was going to crash here. You know, like right there, we had so many people in my chat that were telling me a crash was imminent, that I didn't know what I was talking about, that I was going to see, that you should sell, everybody should sell. You don't see those people anymore. You know why? Because they've been proven wrong by time. And they've been proven wrong by time. And so again, I'm not saying this is going to happen again. What I'm saying is that be careful shorting the market long term. You can try to predict crashes. They're incredibly difficult to predict and time correctly. Even if we do crash, markets typically are going to bounce back within a year or two. Again, we've mentioned this statistic, which I actually stole. No, I didn't steal, but I saw somebody post this stat on Twitter. And what the stat is that there's only been 3 times in history in which we've had a long-term bear market of over a year in a row of red action. There's only been 3 times in history where the market has had more than one red year in a row. Okay. And so if you're at home thinking that the market is just some constant and never-ending state of crash, it's probably not. Yeah, buddy. No, you gotta wait for your mom to get back. Because you said you didn't feel good, man. No, you gotta stay here by me. Look, you're on a chair. You can play your iPad, buddy. Just hang out. All right, guys. Sorry. Had to mute it for a second. So the report was neutral. This is good news. PCE was pretty flat. I don't know if it was good news or bad news. Comes down to probability. Long term, it's a sucker's bet. Short term, it might be right. Exactly. Short term, you might have a great trade, but again, there's a dime a dozen of people. And again, the universal rule I have here regarding these type of predictions, the universal rule I have is it's fine to make the predictions. I'm not mad at the predictions. All right. There's 2 things. You can't shame people for taking the opposing side or thinking the opposite thing. You can't pressure people to do it. So you can't get mad at people if they don't follow you or really spam like do it now. And then the third one is you can't make definitive statements heavily. You can't say the market is going to do this or the market is going to do that. You can't say the market is going to crash, right? Those are the 3 rules I have. I think they're very reasonable rules because again, what happens a lot of the time is people are influenced by everybody saying the market's going to crash. Usually the banks are the ones that make the money on the upside. Who do you think made money over the last year? The banks did. Who do you think missed out a lot? Who do you think missed out the most on the big bull action that we've had over the last year? Retail traders who thought the market was going to crash, right? Getting pushed that from, the internet. And so I don't want that to be a source of my channel. I'd rather just be real with people. But again, I have no idea what I'm talking about. I might be wildly wrong about everything. SPY's dipping a little bit. Tesla's down some too. So we are starting to get some dips. What do you think of PDD? I've heard of this stock before. What is this? It's been a while since I don't know enough about the company to say. I'm looking at the chart right now. Chart doesn't look bad. I mean, it's been dipping since 2021, like a lot of stuff. But this year's been really strong. If you look at a yearly chart, it's been very strong. Opened up the year at about 100. It is at, about 140 right now. So it's up like 40% this year. Really big movement on the upside for PDD. But again, I don't really know enough about it to speculate any further than that, aside from a good-looking chart here. So good-looking chart. Again, it's up a lot. I don't know what it's going to do moving forward, but the chart doesn't look bad. Market's really dipping down some. Let me see if there's a reason for it. Fed's daily says it's still too early to know if the Fed is done raising rates, according to Germany's Borsen. And so, yeah, daily basically said he doesn't know if we're done raising rates. We just scalped another $50 just in transparency purposes. We scalped another $50 here. Buy in this dip. We're up about 622 on the day. And again, I certainly take trades off stream. Sometimes I lose trading off stream as well. It's not like I always win. I don't want people to get that impression. Never heard of it, Mac. I mean, shot looks like a penny stock that started to run. The chart honestly doesn't look that bad, but it's incredibly risky. So just be careful. I don't know enough about it to really say either. Looks like a penny stock that started to run. It was at 30 cents a couple months ago. Now it is at force. So again, I just don't know. Good luck. I hope you make money with it. What do you mean AHs? Travis says, what do you mean you don't know why the market is going down? I mean, you're taking short-term price action, Travel, and you're extrapolating that to act like it's super predictable short-term that the market's going to go down. You're taking a very short-term quote, taking it out of context, and then acting like long-term technicals and fundamentals are somehow influencing this very short-term. You know what I mean? Like, if you really want to be honest, the market's probably dropping because jobless claims numbers came in a little bit lower than expected, meaning more people working. And what Powell said he wanted was to push the job market down. All right, guys. Sorry. My son's been into drones lately. He's been playing with drones. I'm kind of talking to him about that. But yeah, I guess my point is, like, I'm talking about the market moving down short term, not long term. If we're talking about long term, the market's obviously been moving up the last couple weeks. You know what I mean? Here's the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks in market activity, and the market's been incredibly strong. There's Tesla. Better look as like the SPY. So yeah, here's the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks. Market's been incredibly strong. This week, we're so far having a slightly red week. Yeah, Kroger had earnings this morning. We covered it. All right, NVIDIA started to pull back down a little bit. But again, you can see the market's up short term. We'll see if it holds that. Yeah, bro. Which drone? Which one? It's probably dead.
I know it's not dead because they keep spinning.
Here, let me see it. Let me see the remote.
Like right when I plugged it
Yeah, I don't know why they're spinning. That's kind of weird.
Wait.
Yeah, but unplug it. let it sit for a second. This seems kind of loose right now, bro. Oh, it's broken.
What do you mean?
Look. Here, it's all right. It might still work, dude. Here, no. Here, hold on, bro. Let me try to fix it for you. It also might just be the battery being dead, dude. That's probably what it is.
I charged it overnight.
Okay. Here, hold on. Wait, I'm not done. Give me that.
If you leave,
Here, I think the battery's dead, buddy. I would go try one of the other batteries. Okay. Here, I'm gonna just keep this here. Go grab one of the other ones, bring it to me. Sorry, my son's messing with. Hey, turn the light off. Here, stop, Jack. I'm on a stream right now. Thank you, buddy. Sheesh, man. My son loves drones right now, though. He's like obsessed with drones. Jobless rate does not affect FOMC decision. Jobless rate probably won't, but unemployment next week might. So again, jobless claims is a weekly report, so it drops weekly. Jobless claims, unemployment filings drops weekly. Now, unemployment numbers drop next week, along with payroll numbers. That might influence the Fed. Again, you have to understand, though, it's so incredibly unlikely that the Fed is going to shock everybody and raise rates that it's not really a reasonable prediction, in my opinion, right now. Like, maybe we shock people when it happens, but it's just not super reasonable or expected. If we look at what the odds are for a potential rate hike, right now they're 4%, which is up a little bit from yesterday, but it's still 4% versus 96% on the other side of that, basically signifying most likely a pause. It is very rare that the Fed actually goes outside of expectations, guys. The Fed almost never goes outside of expectations. Why? I thought we agreed that we were going to try a different one.
Oh, I did. It was just on backwards. I
No.
just plugged it in on backwards.
No, that's not what it is.
No, look. Like, if I plug this one.
I know, but that doesn't have anything to do with it, bro. It's probably that means, like, listen, hey. When you charge these batteries, there's a really specific way you have to do it. Yeah, I know. You have to turn it off and then back on and a bunch of other stuff. And so there's a really specific way you have to do it. Is it doing it?
It's the exact same thing as it did last time.
Let me see.
It's just because I plugged it in on backwards, and this is the dead battery, so I...
Yeah, you plugged it in backwards. That's what I'm saying. There's a specific way.
No, I didn't plug it in backwards.
You mean...
I put it in this backwards.
Okay. All right. Well, listen, you might be right then. Yeah. Because that actually did the same thing, recreated it with that battery. So you're actually right, buddy. I think you're actually right. Let me see if it works now.
I'm gonna do it the right way. Is it muted?
No, it's not muted, but that's okay.
You can still unmute it.
Yeah, it's unmuted. All right. You're coming off pretty smart here. Hey, you're right. Look, it works. Hey, good job, dude. Hey, nope. Get it out of here before you fly. I understand. Love you, buddy. Good job, man. All right, good job, bro. Smart. Love you, dude. All right. Here, close the door a little bit, though, buddy. Thank you, bud. Smart kid, man. He was actually right. I thought it was the battery dead, and he was like, nope. It was just how we plugged it into the actual drone top. And so he's actually right. Smart kid. Anyways. SPY at 455.60s. Dell? Yeah, Dell dropped earnings yesterday, right? Or something like that. It was... When did they release their numbers? All right, we're also going to get ready to day trade some more. We've mostly day trading the NASDAQ today. And again, we are up about 6:30 on the day. Right now, up about 6:30 on the day on the NASDAQ here. Again, we're also going to be day trading at the opening bell. So be ready for that here, team. Let me get all this stuff ready. We got the SPY charts up and down. Let me get this out of the way. We got the Q up to almost 4. Part of me wants to short this move, and I think I'm going to short one contract here. There we go. We're short, retracing a little bit.
Yeah, it's dead.
It's dead? Okay, hold on, dude. Hey, buddy, I'm not sure. You're going to have to figure it out, okay? All right. All right, you got it? All right. All right, so now we're down a little bit on the trade. Now we're flat, so we're short right now in the NASDAQ here because, I mean, we're just trying to piggyback off of this bigger move right here. You see the big downward move. We're just kind of trying to piggyback off of that. All right, so there we go. We're up about 25, 30, 30, 35. We're going to go ahead and lock that profit in. Small little baby steps here. You can see we're edging close to 700 on the day. Yeah, I mean, one thing with my kids is like I'm always willing to admit I'm wrong if I feel like I'm wrong. You know, I feel like a lot of parents don't do that. And I think it's really important for kids to understand that credibility is built admitting you're wrong. You know, and so if Jack was right, which he was in that instance, I tell him, hey, look, I was wrong. You might be right. Good job. You know, so he understands that it's important to also admit you're wrong sometimes. You know, something I tell my daughter is like, if you never admit you're wrong, you have no credibility towards anything if you can't admit you're wrong. And so, yeah, lesson at home, guys. John's parenting lesson at home is be willing to admit you're wrong. If you don't, you never have credibility. All right, guys, we got 15 minutes. Gold did dip a little bit. We ended up shorting, and I got out of it. I kind of want to short this again. But there's also a risk that we push up, so I'm going to short it again, but I'm going to keep a very tight leash on this one. All right, bro. Here's the drone not working altogether now. The battery? All right.
When only the red one's on, that means it's dead.
Okay. All right, so slightly green, kind of flat on this position right now. We're shorting. Don't mess with that. Don't do that. Hey, listen, Jack. Hey, listen. You understand? All right, listen. You do it again, you're gonna be in trouble. All right, it's a principle of it. If I tell you not to do it and you do it again, you're gonna be in trouble. You understand? All right. Here, hold on. If you want to grab that here. Hey, Jack, if you don't have a shirt on, you got to tell me. You can grab it. You can't come on stream. Here, no, not this. Jack, I'm in a trade right now, bro. What are you doing, man? Hey, buddy, listen to me. Jack, hey, listen to me. Focus. Hey, focus. Listen to me. I'm streaming right now. I'm working right now. You got to let me focus. Do not undo that, okay? Buddy. Thank you. All right. Thank you. Sorry, guys. Anyways, we're shorting here. We're up like 40 bucks. I'd like to get a little bit more, but we got two down wicks here. Two down wicks. Yeah, sorry. My son gets kind of zones out and starts messing with stuff in here. All right, so we're up 30. $40. I like the pattern here, and I think we could make a little bit more, but I also don't want to be. There we go. All right, so there we go. So now we are up over 7 on the day. We are up about 715 in markets right now, up 715. Looks like the short works. SPY broke over. Yeah, you see the reason I'm shorting this, one of the reasons here, somebody brought it up, was that you can see the 200 EMA on this chart right here. The 200 EMA is one of my favorite levels to use. Yeah, being able to admit you're wrong is super applicable for trading as well, 100%. Yeah, and again, I know people. I have family, you know, that just never admit they're wrong ever. And it's such a hard thing because it's like they never apologize, they never admit they're wrong, they never acknowledge that they were wrong in any way whatsoever. And so, yeah, it's something in which I have to teach my kids, like, yo, if you never admit you're wrong, you have no credibility for anything, you know, because everybody's wrong. I'm certainly wrong a lot. And again, I call GameStop short at $4. It wasn't like I was actually shorting GameStop, but I thought GameStop looked sketchy at $4 long, you know, so I wasn't touching it at $4. And of course, GameStop eventually went up to $5.50, you know, same price of $5.50. And yeah, one of the most wrong I've ever been. This was right before the squeeze too. I was skeptical of it. Hey, John, how much money did you start out with when you first started trading? When I first started, again, I've told this story before. When I first started, I watched the movie The Big Short, you know, with about the Michael Burry's Big Short he took on the mortgage market in 2006, 7, and 8. I watched the movie The Big Short. I was always a checkers player, poker player. Poker's really like my game. I love poker. But like, I watched that movie and I realized that you could kind of do the same thing in the stock market. And so I got home and I researched day trading, and I got Tim Sykes and Warrior Trading and Financial Freedom, you know, millionaire students. And, you know, I had like thousands. I had a book business at the time, like a used book business at the time, where I would like flip books, basically, like a thrift business. And so I had like $4,000 or so saved from that business. And that was a lot of money to me at the time. It was a lot of money. It was not a small amount of money to me. I'm not saying 4K isn't a lot now, but at the time it was a lot. And so I took that 4K, and my wife, of course, was like, bro, like, you sure you want to do this? And I was like, oh yeah. Again, in my mind, financial freedom. I'm going to show everybody how smart I am. And I'm going to take $4,000 day trading penny stocks. And I'm going to turn it into 20K and be rich. Very quickly, I lost that 4K within like 2.5 weeks day trading penny stocks. I was using a platform at the time called SureTrader, which was a overseas broker that got around the PDT rule, gave you 6-to-1 leverage. They knew people were going to lose the money, and just kind of quickly lost the whole 4K. And then I even, like, that's when I started the channel, was then too. You see me take like a year-long break. So I start the channel, and then I don't actually start posting. Like, I actually founded this channel in 2016, you know, so like 8 years ago. I actually didn't really start posting until like 2017 or 2018. And so you see me take like a very long break. When I came back, I had my mind right a little bit more, and I started to trade a little bit smarter. I started using TOS instead. That's when I started to use TOS. All right, so we're starting to bounce up again. I might short a small piece of this really quickly. We've had a bunch of green trades in a row, though. And we're going to scalp out of that. We just got out of that. We're up 730. Part of me wants to keep my green streak up, but we've made so much on the day. We've got a really large cushion for the opening bell. We're up 730 now. So I don't know what I want to do. We're just kind of scalping back and forth. This is Quant Tower. Yeah, I was day trading shares and stocks, penny stocks mostly in the beginning. Eventually, I moved over to TOS and, you know, stayed with stocks. I covered penny stocks and traded penny stocks for a while. Eventually, you realize that, like, even if you have a consistent strategy in penny stocks, the likelihood that you're going to be able to execute that strategy without some type of terrible event happening in penny stocks is very low. What I mean by that is, like, the benefit of learning to day trade the SPY or the Q or the E-mini or the NASDAQ, you know what I mean? Or even like Apple or Amazon or Tesla or something like that. Like, learning to day trade that, the benefit of that is that you can learn to do that day in and day out. You can do that day in, day out. And, you know, with that, you can learn how to trade it consistently because you have access to the same symbol that moves in a similar way every day, right? So you can really learn how to trade individual symbols there. The difference between that compared to like penny stocks is that penny stocks, you basically have to find a new one every day. Some days there's none that are even moving. And even if you find a new one, the problem is like they're so manipulated. Look at the market rip back up. So the NASDAQ started to pop back up here. The problem with penny stocks is that they're so manipulated. Even the CEOs manipulate them sometimes to a point in which the CEOs, I said this yesterday, but like the CEOs know their company is going to fail. right? And so they got two options. They can sit on their shares and just kind of sit there and let their company just drop like this, or they can pump it up and sell at the top, and leave all the shareholders sitting on the bag of losses, right? You see it a lot with crypto now. And so a lot of the time stocks get pumped up, get halted. A lot of the time the CEOs or the insiders in the companies are the ones that are doing it themselves, right? And they're leaving the shareholders sitting there looking to get rich quick. And again, even if they know the company's going to fail. And so the likelihood in penny stocks of finding consistent profits in that regard is very low, because stocks get halted a ton. They get diluted. They announce offerings. They have T1 and T2 halts. They have all these different events that happen in penny stocks regularly, and you don't know when they're going to happen. And sometimes a penny stock can just straight up get halted and never resume. And anything that you invested into that specific stock, say you got 5K sitting in a penny stock, right? Sometimes they can get halted and never resume. And so your whole 5K just disappears in that situation. Most of the time, a lot of the time it disappears if it doesn't resume. Sometimes there's workarounds for it. But the point is, it's incredibly inconsistent to do so. You know what I mean? And again, maybe there's people that can do it and accomplish it successfully. I'm not one of them. Anyways, NVIDIA right at the previous close. I don't know if we're going to pop at the open. We got 6 minutes. We have some other economic data today, right? We got Chicago PMI, not really big. We got pending home sales. Maybe that might move stuff, but none of this is like big. All right, again, we got the Tesla event. NASDAQ's kind of flat. Part of me wants to short because this looks like kind of like a bear flag here, if you see what I mean by that. Oh, that last little part's probably kind of ugly. But if you see what I mean by bear flag, this is why they call it a flag, is because it looks like a flag. You have the pole, you have the actual flag. Got a little bit of a bear flag here, which makes me want to short. But I also understand like the risk of this not doing what I want it to do is very high as well. I like that up wick though. I'm gonna go ahead and short it. See if it works. 6 minutes until the open. All right, we got a nice little downward pressure. Boom. All right, just made a quick little $70 or so. We broke $80. Just very quick. Again, we're up 8-10 on the day. On this account, at least, we got an 8-to-1 win-loss ratio. So our drawdown today is only $15, which I'm still pretty happy with, of course. Yeah, Salesforce and Snowflake, Vittorio, did really, really well last night. They dropped earnings, both of them, which are both software companies, dropped earnings. So they're doing really well. Today, at least they have been. Snow is also up to like 188s, 189s, or 187s, I mean. Also, guys, another one of my sponsors is a company called Chart Prime. It's a trading view indicator service that I get alerts on all the time. Like, again, if you see this here, like you can look at the alert that I have that pops up on the chart. You can kind of see alert fired, E-mini. So I get these things to give me alerts on any individual symbols. I use it for a lot of different things. Again, here's the E-mini alert fired. It shows me when. This was yesterday, but there's so many different ways that I can use this. My favorite three indicators using them are the Market Oracle Pro, and then the regular Market Oracle. Here's the regular Market Oracle Pro. And so we'll get the Market Oracle up in a second. But again, you can kind of see how useful this can be. Again, I can't guarantee you're going to make money. Nobody can. But again, when you look at this objectively, again, let's back test it today. All right, let's back test it today. And you can kind of see it's not going to be work right every time. This sell signal came out right here. Worked. Buy signal. Beautiful work. Strong sell signal. Worked. Buy signal. Worked. Strong sell signal. Worked. So out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 for 5 so far. 5 for 5. Buy signal worked. 6 for 6. This one we can probably consider that a fail. So that's 6 for 7. Buy signal came in right here. And so I'm going to call this one flat. It had, 15 minutes of bullish action afterwards. But, if you want to call it 8 for 6, it's still pretty high accuracy rate. And so again, that's today. you could kind of see 75% plus accuracy if you took these signals today. And again, strong, we didn't even include this one. Strong dip, nice buy signal there, worked. And so again, we can keep going back. Sell signal right there. Look at the huge breakdown afterwards. And so again, I can't fake what I'm showing you, but this is called the Market Oracle Pro. You can use it on any time frame. Again, I can't guarantee you're going to make money. Nobody can, of course, but any time frame you could use it on. You could also look at the regular Market Oracle, which is one that I've historically used a lot. This one gives you reversal signals. And again, the big reversal signal that shows up is when you get a reversal and an engulfing candle that show up right at once. So, right, if you can get this where they're right on top of each other, the likelihood of a follow through is incredibly high. And again, you can back test this stuff yourself. It makes a ton of sense if you can. Like, look at this. Same thing. Very powerful, in my opinion. Look, engulfing candle, reversal up signal. Huge bounce. Again, same thing here. Same one I talked about last time. Nice little bounce. Again, that's just a small piece of what they offer. This is just 2 indicators out of tons here. Look at all this. The back tester is only available for lifetime members. Of course, NVIDIA is starting to break down. But again, check them out. Great way to help support your boy here in this channel. It's like $50 a month if you use my link, I think, right now. So if you want to check it out, again, they are a sponsor. I'm certainly biased in their favor because they pay me money. But I still think it's really useful for trading. I use it a lot, and you can check it out the link right here. Again, NASDAQ, that bear flag we talked about is actually working to a T. Should have held mine a little bit longer, but that's all good. We are starting to break down. We got 1.5 minutes until the opening bell, team. 1.5 minutes. And we just cracked lows here on the NASDAQ here. NVIDIA is really what's dropping here. So this is NVIDIA mostly. NVIDIA is cracking all the way down to 479.90s. If we put NVIDIA up on this top left chart, you can see it breaking down significantly down to 480s here. After a pretty good couple days for NVIDIA, though. Look at any news that just came out. A lot of Fed Williams spoke earlier. He said the Fed is at or near the peak for interest rate target, and if inflation pressures persist, the Fed could hike again. Monetary policy is quite restrictive in the most in 25 years. So again, we can kind of see the NASDAQ still breaking down a little bit with NVIDIA here. Trying to see what else. It's mostly NVIDIA right now. I'm looking at Tesla. Tesla's up, so it's not Tesla dragging it down. It's not Apple. Microsoft is down, but that's probably sympathy with NVIDIA as well, since they're both AI microchip related. So here's the opening bell in 15 seconds, guys. 15 seconds. Get the music playing back up. All right, so here's the open, guys. There's the opening bell. NASDAQ starting to really flush down here. Really flush. Big drops on the NASDAQ. NVIDIA still breaking down under 480s at a close to 479.50s right now, and really 479 was tapped. Watch NVIDIA for a bounce back, see if it influences things positively or not. Look at that big retracement on the NASDAQ. That's a big retracement. I'm going to short this. A lot of the time retraces, ironically, retrace sometimes. Maybe I'm wrong, though. Very volatile. Kind of risky trading as early as this, though. I'm going to have to cut this pretty soon. All right, so we just got out. That was our first L in a minute. We're still up about 700 here. And maybe this would have worked, too, but that's just a big volatility move here. When do we roll over in futures? Now look at that big pop in the NASDAQ. Really interesting. It's not the SPY. Maybe it's Tesla's delivery day. It's Microsoft. Microsoft flying up. Right back down. Nvidia still looking weak. So we're starting to retest some of these levels. SPY started to turn down. Very flat open where we moved up big. At least in the SPY, it's pretty flat. Nasdaq's doing a little bit better. Apple, Tesla dipping hard. Yeah, I'm looking at. Oh man, look at Tesla. Wow, I didn't realize how down Tesla was. You're right. Tesla dipping really hard. Big breakdowns. Let's watch the Nasdaq. Yeah, Tesla, again, a lot of the time Tesla reacts negatively to these events, more negatively than people realize, I think. SPY still flushing down here. Crack lows on the SPY. SPY just cracked lows of the day here. All right, we're shorting the SPY here on my chart. We're slightly green. We're up 25. Retracing all the way back up, starting to get red a little bit. We'll see if we back up or not. We're kind of shorting around low of the day, which is something I don't really do. But I just like the U-shaped breakout. We're going to go ahead and cut that. So again, we are now up on the day about 670. We're still pretty green, but this looks like a weak pattern to me personally, but maybe I'm wrong and we'll see what it does. Disney popping up. Yeah, I saw Disney a couple weeks ago. Nvidia's starting to rip back up though. That's probably the one you want to watch. Nvidia. Yeah. Nvidia fighting its way back up, and a lot of stuff's really weak. We made our money right back on the SPY. So we're back up to, on the day. We're up about 726 or so, 726. Nvidia rejecting, Nasdaq flushing down. Yeah, I think Nvidia looks really weak right now. We're in another short right now. Took half off. Lock that in. And the rest of this position here, we're up 25, 30 bucks here, but depends on how weak this gets. Only one contract now, though. All right, there we go. That looks really weak. Specifically on NASDAQ. There we go. Flushing down. Or retesting, so we're break even. Probably should have pivoted to trading the NASDAQ. It's breaking, giving us a little bit more breakdown here. Now we're flat on the rest. I don't know what to do here. I'll probably cut out flat if it goes too much against me. Watching NVIDIA test lows, and a lot of the time we bounce at lows, but if it really flushes down, then it might drag us down a little bit more. But yeah, I don't like that move. All right, so we're out. We're still up basically $700 on the day. That's just a big bounce back. Man, NVIDIA just dumped down really, really fast. Tesla's still looking really weak too. Tesla just cracked lows again. Yeah, those are probably red, David, because crypto, I'm assuming, is down. Yeah, crypto's down over the last couple of minutes, so it just depends on what they're doing, you know. All right, so we're scalping a little bit more of the E-mini on the short side here. Up about 75 on this one right now. We're already got a green trade, so we can either choose to hold it break even or see if it breaks down some more, which I guess is the goal, but I'm going to cut this. We just got out. We are up 800 on the day again. The reason I'm seeing that, I see NVIDIA started to bounce back, even though the pattern looks overwhelmingly bearish. Should have held. Should have held. Got the breakdown, but that's kind of how it goes. Big breakdown on the NASDAQ, big breakdown on Tesla, big breakdown on NVIDIA. My equity portfolio is finally green on the day. Man, so again, I'm not really in anything right now. This is a big breakdown right now. I'm going to buy this. Kind of risky, though. It's the NASDAQ as well. Big pullback and then a retracement back up, but I can take more risks now that I have a huge cushion on the day. They say don't catch a falling knife, but a lot of the time I can do so and do it well, but this night might not be one of those times. All right, so we're in 2 contracts. Ugh, crap. NVIDIA's breaking lows, which makes me really nervous. I'm going to take half of this off. And so I'd rather just lose a little bit and manage risk. Still be up over 600 on the day. Then play with fire there, holding 2 contracts short as NVIDIA cracks lows. And maybe I could pick up a little bit more in a bounce here. The problem, though, again, is NVIDIA's cracking lows right now. Weird. All right, so we just made it basically right back. So the trade was actually flat. Maybe a little bit of an emotional trade by me. Here's the E-mini, you know, doing a kind of similar thing, but I got into what I thought were some really good trades on the NASDAQ, but I just got a bad feel. But just caught that breakdown just now, shorting it, the E-mini. We are now up about 900 on the day, a little bit over 900 actually. And again, I'm doing this on a funded account program called Top Step. I'm trading the NASDAQ, mostly in the E-mini. That was on the E-mini, which is basically the SPY price action. And so I'm basically day trading the NASDAQ and the E-mini. So the S&P 500, the SPY and the Q are basically what I'm trading, but I can trade them in futures and there's no PDT rule. I can day trade, short, buy market, sell market, as you see me doing here with no PDT restrictions. And again, the system I have to get funded in these funded programs is very simple. I build up a cushion. You see me trade very light when I'm first building up that cushion of $100 to $200. Once we have that cushion, I have the green light to take more risk and try to build up more. That's, even with my recent losses, my drawdown's only 300, less than 300 actually, and I'm up over 900. And so, again, you can see my win-loss ratio is 3.38 to 1. And again, the way I do this is very simple. I think if you want to get funded in these funded account programs, Top Step is one in which they give you a demo. They test your skill. If you can hit the target on the demo without hitting the max loss, they fund you between 50 to 150K with a 90% split once you're funded. And so if you get funded, make 10K, you keep 9 of that, and you get to keep your first 10,000 in profit. And there's free funding coaches, and they pay out millions and fund thousands to traders every year. They pay out millions in actual withdrawals. And so great way to learn day trading. If you lose, you're out $49 for the base combine. But if you're good enough to pass it, you get 90% split. You get the reward similar to putting up the money up yourself, just a lot less risk. And most day traders lose in the beginning. Great way to learn. Great way to maybe get funded if you don't have that much equity, but you like to get funded. And again, if you want to check them out, here's the link. Equities portfolio is definitely red, though. My equities portfolio is down about $90 today. All right, so we got a little bit of a bounce finally. And again, what you see me do a lot of the time is I watch the SPY, I watch NVIDIA, I watch other blue chip companies to get an influence of what the market might do, right? So I try to take all the different big cap companies that I think are moving volatilely, and I try to gauge what's happening, right? So here's NVIDIA. I'm watching this NVIDIA chart. Here's Tesla. I'm watching Tesla chart. I'm also watching Apple, Microsoft, other blue chip companies, because basically an example of it is if I see NVIDIA breaking lows, I'm less likely to go long in the NASDAQ, because typically NVIDIA breaking lows can and will pull the market down to a certain extent. How much is a different story, but that's another one of the nuances in my trading that I use regularly. Top Step, you have to make 3K in profit on the base one without losing over 2K, and there's some other rules that you have to follow. So it's a 2 to 3 ratio, which is pretty reasonable in my opinion. All right, so the NASDAQ breaking back down again after a little bear flag action. Oh, we had Chicago PMI drop. My bad, guys. I completely missed that report. It's not really a huge report, though. Like, Chicago PMI came in at 55.8, much higher than expected, actually. So 55.8, much more strength in manufacturing than expected. I'm going to short this. I always like these short patterns here. We'll see if we can make 1,000. But we're also really extended on the downside, too. All right, so we just locked in a little bit more gains. About 920 on the day, 930. All right, just made another $100 or so. We just broke 1,000. Scalping that, we're up about $1,022. Big breakdowns. I'm probably going to go ahead and catch a break now, guys. We're going to be back for the Tesla event later. So we're going to be back for the Tesla event later. So I'm going to try to get a little bit of a break before then, since we're going to have to start streaming again this afternoon. And so again, be ready, guys. Y'all be safe in the markets here, team. Be safe. Again, market is very red, very down. It's been good for me, though. I've been shorting mostly. Here's the closing stream futures P&L right now. This is what we're up. Up about a little bit over 1,000. We got about a 3.62 to 1 win-loss ratio, so that's not bad. But that is my end of the day stream P&L. Y'all be good. Be safe. Love you all. I'll be back later on for the Tesla stream. Y'all be good. Tesla event is at 3 p.m. Eastern time. 3 p.m. Y'all be safe. Good luck.